ladies, can I tell you something? You are God's favorite daughter. I know that might sound a little bold, a little audacious, but let me say it again. For the woman who feels overlooked, forgotten, or unworthy, you are God's favorite. But the enemy, oh, he loves to play games with your mind. He loves to tell you that you don't measure up, that you're too broken, that your past disqualifies you. But today we're canceling every lie, silencing every doubt, and stepping into the truth. You are God's favorite daughter, not by accident, not by coincidence, not because you got everything right, but because he chose you before you even knew who you were, before the mistakes, before the doubts, before the detours. God had already stamped his love on you, and nothing can erase what he has written. But here's the thing, the enemy doesn't want you to know that. He wants you to believe that your worth is something you have to earn, that your value is based on what you've done, who approves of you, or how perfect your life looks. He wants you to think that the love God has for you is conditional, that if you fall too many times, you'll lose your place. But can I tell you something? You can't lose what God has sealed. You didn't earn your place in his heart, so you don't have to fight to keep it. His love for you isn't based on your performance, your past, or your perfection. It's based on who he is. And because he is unchanging, his love for you is unshakable. So why do we as daughters of God struggle to believe that we are fully accepted? Why do we let insecurity creep in, making us question whether we really belong? Why do we compare ourselves to others as if God has favorites and we have to compete for his attention? That's a lie. And it's a lie that has kept too many of us walking with our heads down, doubting our worth, and settling for less than what we deserve. But today I need you to understand something deep in your spirit. You are already enough. Not because you've done everything right, but because God said so. And when God speaks, his word overrides every doubt, every insecurity, and every voice that tries to tell you otherwise. I know what it's like to feel unworthy. I know what it's like to look at yourself and only see the flaws, the failures, and the things you wish you could change. But here's the truth. What you see as flaws, God sees as part of your masterpiece. What you call broken, God calls being shaped. What you see as a mess, God sees as the foundation for your miracle. So many of us are walking around waiting for something to prove that we are loved. Waiting for a sign, waiting for people to validate us, waiting for life to feel perfect before we believe we're chosen. But let me set you free. God's love is the proof. His grace is the evidence. The fact that you are still here, still breathing, still pushing forward is the sign that God is not finished with you. If you ever doubt who you are, if you ever question your worth, I want you to remind yourself of this. God does not make mistakes. And if he chose you, that means you are worthy. If he called you, that means you are enough. If he placed you in this moment, in this season, in this life, it is because he saw something in you that the world needs. And you cannot let the lies of the enemy make you forget what God has already spoken. Walk like you know who you are. Hold your head up like you believe it. And when those whispers of doubt try to creep in, when fear tells you that you are not enough, when shame tries to drag you back into your past, when insecurity tries to make you shrink, remind yourself that you are God's favorite daughter. Not because of what you've done, but because of who he is. And when you know you are chosen, when you know you are loved, when you know that nothing and no one can take that away from you, you stop waiting for permission to walk in your purpose. You stop seeking validation from people who don't even know their own worth. You stop dimming your light because someone else is uncomfortable with your shine. You, my sister, were made for more than insecurity. More than doubt, more than playing small. You were made to stand tall, to walk boldly, to step into rooms like you belong, because you do. No one else has your exact purpose. No one else has your unique calling. No one else can carry what God placed inside of you. So stop waiting for someone to approve what God has already confirmed. Stop questioning whether you are worthy of the love, the favor, the blessings that he is pouring into your life. You are. This is your moment to embrace it. This is your moment to believe it. This is your moment to step into who you were always meant to be, because you, my sister, are God's favorite daughter. Walk like it. That voice in your head, the one that tells you you're not enough, the one that whispers your past mistakes louder than your present growth, the one that makes you feel like you have to strive, perform, and prove yourself just to be worthy of love. It's time to silence it. The enemy doesn't have to put chains on your hands if he can put them on your mind. If he can make you believe that you are disqualified, then you'll sit on the sidelines of your own destiny. If he can make you believe that you're unworthy, then you'll reject the very things that God is trying to give you. If he can make you believe that you don't have a purpose, then you'll live beneath the calling that was always yours. But let me tell you something, the enemy is a liar, and the only power he has is in the words you choose to believe. He plants thoughts like seeds, waiting to see if you will water them with your agreement, waiting to see if you will repeat his lies to yourself, say them out loud, and let them take root in your heart, because he knows that if he can control your mind, he can control your life. But today, we're rejecting every lie. We're pulling up every seed that was never meant to grow in the soil of our spirits. We're canceling the thoughts that tell us we are not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. We are choosing to align our minds with what God has already said about us. And God has never called you broken. He has never called you worthless. He has never told you that you are unlovable. Instead, he calls you his. He calls you chosen. He calls you fearfully and wonderfully made. He calls you his masterpiece. And if God, the creator of the universe, has spoken these things about you, then why are you allowing the whispers of doubt to speak louder? You don't have to accept every thought that comes into your mind. You don't have to entertain every lie that presents itself as truth. The moment a negative thought rises up, you have the authority to shut it down. The moment fear tries to creep in, you have the power to cast it out. The moment shame tries to remind you of your past, you can remind it that God has already redeemed you. And let's talk about that shame for a moment, because shame will try to convince you that you are still the person you used to be. It will try to tell you that your mistakes are who you are. It will try to convince you that no matter how much you grow, you'll never escape the weight of your past. But listen to me. You are not what you went through. You are not your mistakes. You are not the moments of weakness, the times you fell short, the things you wish you could undo. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by who God says you are. And when God forgives, he doesn't do it halfway. He doesn't say, I forgive you, but I'll still hold it against you. No, when God forgives, he wipes the slate clean. He throws your sins into the sea of forgetfulness. He covers you in grace. He calls you redeemed. So why are you still carrying what God has already lifted? Why are you still walking around with a weight that was never yours to bear? Why are you allowing the past to dictate your future when God has already set you free? Shame is a prison, but the door has already been opened. You don't have to stay locked in. You don't have to keep punishing yourself for things that God has already forgiven. You don't have to keep living in the shadow of who you used to be when God is calling you into the light of who you were always meant to become. You have to make a choice. You can either let the past define you, or you can let God refine you. You can either hold on to the lies, or you can step into the truth. You can either live in insecurity, or you can rise in confidence, knowing that God has already called you worthy. The enemy wants you to stay stuck. He wants you to believe that you are still the same woman who made those mistakes. But the enemy has no power over a daughter of God who knows who she is. A woman who has been forgiven walks differently. A woman who understands her worth refuses to settle for anything less than what she deserves. So today I challenge you, the next time that voice of doubt rises up, speak back. The next time shame tries to keep you bound, break free. The next time the enemy whispers that you are not enough, remind him that God has already called you more than enough. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are not your mistakes. You are God's favorite daughter. Now walk like it. You thought the struggle meant you weren't favored. You thought the pain was a sign that you were forgotten. You thought the setback was proof that you weren't chosen. But can I shift your perspective for a moment? What if the very thing you've been fighting, the very thing that has made you question yourself, is actually evidence that God's hand is on your life? What if the weight you've been carrying is not punishment, but preparation? See, the process isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to develop you. Diamonds don't shine without pressure. Gold isn't purified without fire. Strong women aren't made in comfort. They are made in the struggle, in the stretching, in the moments that feel like they are breaking you, but are actually building you. And I know in the middle of it, it's hard to see. When life is pressing you from all sides, when you feel like you're barely holding on, when nothing seems to be going the way you thought it would, those are the moments that make you question if you are even walking in your purpose at all. But let me tell you, the process is proof that you are. Because when God is preparing you for something great, He doesn't do it in easy places. He doesn't shape His strongest warriors in comfort. He doesn't elevate women who are not equipped to handle the weight of the calling on their lives. And if you feel the weight, if you feel the pressure, if you feel like life has been stretching you in ways you didn't expect, it's because He's preparing you for something greater than you expected. The enemy wants you to believe that because things are going the way you planned, that means you're failing. That because the road has been difficult, that means you're not anointed. That because you've had to fight harder than others, that means you're being overlooked. But what if the battle is proof of the blessing? What if the resistance is confirmation that you're on the right path? What if the very thing that has made you want to quit is actually the thing that's qualifying you for the next level? There is nothing wasted with God. Every tear, every moment of frustration, every time you wanted to give up, it's all being used. It's all working together for your good. You may not see it yet, but God doesn't let His daughters go through the fire without making them come out refined. You may have walked into the fire feeling weak, but you're going to walk out stronger. You may have stepped into this season feeling uncertain, but you're going to step into the next one confident. You may have entered the storm feeling like you had no direction, but you're going to come out knowing exactly who you are and where you are supposed to be. The enemy wants you to focus on the process so much that you forget the promise. He wants you to be so overwhelmed by the difficulty of what you're facing that you don't realize you are becoming the woman you prayed to be. You ask for strength, but strength is built through struggle. You ask for wisdom, but wisdom is gained through experience. You ask for purpose, but purpose is found in the pressing. And if you're in the pressing, if you're in the stretching, if you feel like everything is being shaken around you, then that is your confirmation that God is doing something powerful in your life. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. Positioned for greater, positioned for breakthrough, positioned for the kind of transformation that will make you look back and say, if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. So don't despise the process. Don't rush out of the season that is refining you. Don't curse the thing that God is using to build you. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it feels like it's too much. I know you wish you could skip this part and just step into the victory. But the victory won't mean as much if you don't go through what you need to go through to become the woman who can carry it. Because it's not just about the blessing, it's about the woman you need to become in order to handle it. The version of you right now wouldn't be able to sustain the next level. The woman you are today can't carry what's coming. So God is shaping you, strengthening you, stretching you, and preparing you so that when the breakthrough comes, you won't just receive it, you'll be ready for it. You don't want to step into a blessing that you're not equipped to handle. You don't want to walk into a new season with the mindset of the old one. You don't want to receive the thing you've been praying for and then lose it because you weren't prepared to sustain it. So let the process do its work. Let the struggle shape you. Let the fire refine you. Because when you come out of this, you won't just be blessed, you'll be unstoppable. And when you step into your destiny, when you walk into the rooms that you thought you weren't qualified for, when you see the doors open that you once thought were impossible, you'll understand that every tear, every trial, and every test was worth it. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not going through this for nothing. God is preparing you for more than you even imagined. And when the time comes, you'll look back and realize this wasn't punishment. This was proof. Proof that you were chosen, proof that you were anointed, proof that you were always, always God's favorite daughter. Shame is a heavy thing to carry. It doesn't just sit on your shoulders. It seeps into your mind, your spirit, your confidence. It makes you second guess yourself. It makes you walk small when you were meant to stand tall. It makes you hide when you were created to shine. Shame doesn't just remind you of where you've been. It tries to convince you that you can never be anything more. Shame will make you believe that your past disqualifies you, that because of what you did, what happened to you, what choices you made, or what you allowed, you can never step fully into the future God has for you. God has for you His best for you. Shame will have you sitting in rooms where you belong but feeling like an imposter. It will make you question every good thing that comes your way because deep down you don't believe you deserve it. But let me tell you something, shame is a liar. It has no place in your heart, no right to your future, no authority over your destiny. Shame wants to hold you hostage, but God already set you free. You don't have to keep reliving what God has already redeemed. And you don't have to keep punishing yourself for what Jesus already paid for. You don't have to keep carrying a weight that heaven has already lifted. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the girl who didn't know better. You are not the woman who fell short. You are not the choices you made in a moment of weakness. You are not the version of yourself that lived in survival mode, just trying to make it through. You have been made new, and when God makes something new, He doesn't just cover up the old, He completely transforms it. He doesn't just slap a fresh coat of paint on your broken places. He rebuilds you from the inside out. And yet some of us are still walking around acting like we are the same women we used to be. Why? Because shame told us we had to. Shame told us that even though God forgave us, we still had to prove ourselves. Shame told us that we could be blessed, but not too much. That we could have joy, but not without a little guilt. That we could move forward, but we still had to drag the past with us. That is not the life God has for you. God is not in the business of half healing. He doesn't do partial freedom. He doesn't say, I forgive you, but I'll keep reminding you of what you did. No, that's what the enemy does. That's what shame does. That's what guilt does. But God calls you redeemed. God calls you restored. God calls you His favorite daughter. And if He has let it go, why are you still holding on to it? Why are you still rehearsing what happened? Why are you still apologizing for what God has already erased? Why are you still letting shame rob you of the joy, the peace, the confidence that was meant to be yours? Shame wants to keep you stuck. Shame wants to keep you small. Shame wants to convince you that you will never be free. But the truth is, you already are. The moment you surrendered, the moment you said, God, I can't carry this anymore, the moment you laid it down at His feet, you were free. So now the only thing left to do is walk in it. Walk like you know who you are. Walk like you know you are forgiven. Walk like you know you are chosen. Walk like you know that no mistake, no misstep, no moment of weakness can undo what God has already declared over your life. And listen, this is not about pretending you never made mistakes. It's not about ignoring your past. It's about refusing to be defined by it. It's about standing in the truth that while your past may have shaped you, it does not have the power to limit you. It does not get to write your story. It does not get to determine your worth. You get to walk forward fully and completely redeemed. You get to take up space unapologetically. You get to receive love without guilt. You get to chase your dreams without hesitation. You get to live in freedom. And the next time shame tries to whisper in your ear, the next time guilt tries to pull you back, the next time the enemy tries to remind you of who you used to be, remind him of who you are now. You are not bound. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are not unworthy. You are healed. You are whole. You are new. You are God's favorite daughter. Now shake off that shame and walk like it. There is a weight that comes with knowing who you are, a confidence, a boldness, a power that settles into your spirit when you finally realize that you are not ordinary. You are not just another person walking through life trying to figure things out as you go. You are called, you are chosen, you are God's favorite daughter. But for too long, you've been walking like you don't know it. You've been shrinking yourself, questioning yourself, doubting yourself. You've been looking for validation in places that were never meant to affirm you. You've been waiting for permission from people who don't even have the authority to speak over your life. You've been moving like you're optional, like your presence doesn't shift atmospheres, like your voice doesn't carry weight that stops today. Because when you finally step into the understanding of who you are, when you finally own the fact that God has set you apart, you start walking differently. You start thinking differently. You stop accepting less than what you deserve. You stop entertaining things that don't align with your calling. You stop questioning whether you are enough, because you know that you are. You were not made to blend in. You were not made to be overlooked. You were not made to just survive. You were made to thrive. And I don't care what life has tried to tell you, what people have tried to convince you of, what situations have made you believe about yourself. You are worthy of every good thing that God has for you. So why are you settling? Why are you doubting? Why are you playing small in rooms that you were meant to take up space in? Why are you still walking in insecurity when God has already called you confident? It's time to shift. It's time to stop walking with your head down, acting like you are just another woman trying to make it through. You are anointed. You are divinely positioned. You are set apart. And when you know that, you stop moving like you need approval from people who don't even understand the weight of your calling. You don't have to beg for a seat at the table when you were meant to build your own. You don't have to plead for people to see you when God has already called you seen. You don't have to chase what is already yours. Confidence isn't arrogance. Walking in your calling isn't pride. Refusing to settle isn't entitlement. It's obedience. It's saying, God, I trust that you didn't make a mistake when you chose me. It's declaring I will no longer live beneath my calling just to make other people comfortable. It's standing firm in the truth that you belong in every room, every opportunity, every blessing that God has placed in your path. You don't have to keep questioning whether you are enough. You are. You don't have to keep waiting for someone to tell you that you are worthy. You already are. You don't have to keep proving yourself to people who will never understand your purpose. You were chosen before they even had an opinion. When you know you're favored, you don't move like you're forgotten. When you know you're anointed, you don't live like you're average. When you know you're God's favorite daughter, you don't settle for anything that doesn't align with that truth. And listen, I know the enemy has tried to make you forget. He's tried to attack your confidence. He's tried to shake your identity. He's tried to convince you that you are too much, too broken, too far gone. But he wouldn't be fighting you this hard if you weren't a threat. He wouldn't be trying to distract you if he wasn't afraid of what happens when you step fully into who you are. It's time to remind yourself of who you are. It's time to start walking like you belong. It's time to own your worth, claim your calling, and step into your divine identity. Because the moment you do, everything shifts, doors open. Fear loses its grip. You start moving with a confidence that can't be shaken, a boldness that can't be ignored, a presence that commands respect, not because you demand it, but because you carry God's favor. So stop waiting for permission to be who God has already called you to be. Stop questioning whether you are worthy of the dreams in your heart. Stop hesitating to take up space, to speak up, to walk boldly into every opportunity that was meant for you. You are already equipped. You are already enough. You are already chosen. You are God's favorite daughter. Now step into that truth and walk like it. There is a strength inside of you that you haven't even fully tapped into yet. A power, a resilience, a fire that has been with you since the beginning. Life has tried to dim it. People have tried to silence it. The enemy has done everything in his power to convince you that you are weak, that you are not capable, that you are too broken to be effective. But the truth is that you are stronger than you even realize. You have survived things that should have broken you. You have walked through fires that should have consumed you. You have faced storms that should have left you shattered. But look at you. You're still here. You're still standing. You're still pushing forward, even when it feels like you have nothing left. That's not by accident. That's not just because you're lucky. That is grace. That is divine strength. That is the evidence that you are built for more than you even understand. But the enemy wants you to forget. He wants you to look at your wounds and see weakness instead of proof that you are a warrior. He wants you to focus so much on the battles you fought that you don't realize you've already won. He wants to keep you so distracted by the struggle that you don't recognize the strength that has built inside of you. And I know It doesn't always feel like strength. Some days it feels like barely holding on. Some days it feels like pushing through exhaustion. Some days it feels like forcing yourself to get up when everything in you wants to stay down. But that is strength. Strength is not about feeling powerful all the time. Strength is about refusing to give up even when you feel weak. Strength is about showing up even when you don't have all the answers. Strength is about choosing to keep going even when you don't see the finish line yet. And sis, you have that strength inside of you. You don't need someone else to validate it. You don't need permission to own it. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You already are. You've already walked through too much to doubt yourself now. You've already overcome too much to shrink back now. You've already proven time and time again that you are stronger than whatever tries to come against you. So stop questioning yourself. Stop letting fear convince you that you're not enough. Stop replaying the lies that tell you that you don't have what it takes. You do. You've had it all along. It's been in you since the moment God called you his own. Since the moment he placed a purpose inside of you that cannot be erased. No matter what you've been through, you are not weak. You are not fragile. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are a force. A woman who has been refined by fire, strengthened by struggle, and covered in grace. A woman who carries the kind of power that hell is terrified of. A woman who walks in favor that no weapon formed against her can prosper against. And the moment you realize that, the moment you start walking in that truth, everything changes. Fear loses its grip. Insecurity loses its power. Doubt no longer controls you. Because when you finally understand that the strength you need has been inside of you all along, you stop looking outside of yourself for permission to be great. You stop apologizing for the weight of your calling. You stop playing small to make other people comfortable. You are God's favorite daughter, and that means that there is nothing that can come against you and win. It means that no matter what life throws at you, you will rise. It means that even in your hardest seasons, you will overcome. It means that you do not have to be afraid of the future, because the same God who has brought you this far will take you the rest of the way. So don't back down. Don't second guess yourself. Don't let fear talk you out of stepping into everything that is meant for you. You are stronger than you think. You are more powerful than you know. You are favored, you are chosen, and you are equipped for every single thing that God has placed in your path.